Welcome once again to the BizLife Podcast. We are broadcasting live from the Latin Chamber of Commerce studios in lovely downtown Las Vegas. We are the Small Business Education Program. My name is Mike Bindrup, and I'm joined here today with my co-host, Carlos Gomez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Carlos.
having me.
Thank you so much for the support of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. We're part of University of Nevada Reno Extension's offices here in Southern Nevada, and we are joined today with our very special guest, Marcel Schaerer. We'll let Marcel introduce himself in a second, but Marcel comes to us from the Department of Business and Industry, and so we have a lot of stuff to talk about today regarding small business, and Marcel's been a huge advocate for small business as long as I've known him, so we'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Marcel.
Good morning, Mike, and thank you for having me here. You too, Carlos, and my name is Marcel Schaerer, as you mentioned, and I am the Deputy Director for the Nevada Department of Business and Industry.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Now, I had this question. We were talking about this before. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, what does the Department of Business and Industry actually do? And I said, well, they do a lot of things. And I kind of explained it. And I checked with Marcel and I said, did I tell it right? And he said, yeah, you did. You did a good job. So we let everybody know, because sometimes when it comes to government, we don't understand the functions. Like normal humans, we don't interact with government as much as we probably do here in this room. So could you explain like what your function is and how the department helps people?
Absolutely. I try to keep it simple, and I always say, think about this regulatory umbrella. Mm-hmm. That's what business and industry is a regulatory umbrella for the state, like you mentioned, for some industries. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we have 11 divisions. For example, the real estate division. You and I need to sell real estate. We need to be licensed and regulated. Mm-hmm. Division of Insurance, the Nevada Transportation Authority, mm-hmm. Taxi cab. We also have the Division of Industrial Relations. Mm-hmm. OSHA.
Yep.
If you and I have, if you and I have issues regarding wages and overtime, we go and see the labor commissioner.
Exactly.
So I wanted to we also have a division of housing, mm-hmm. tackling the challenges of affordable housing nowadays. So it's a far-reaching organization covering a lot of businesses and industries. But first and foremost, we are that regulatory umbrella.
The regulatory, okay.
But in the process of providing that regulatory umbrella, we also promote and support the growth and development of businesses and industry within the state. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that clarifies what business and industry does.
Well, and part of the way I explained it is we have certain types of industries in Nevada. You can't just open shop and say, hey, I'm going to be let's say a locksmith. Right?
Correct.
You can't just go, hey, I'd like to be a locksmith, and I can just go down and get a local license and start locksmithing. No. There's a reason because of that. We need to do some background checks on you. Yeah. I don't want anybody that can pick locks knowing, going into business suddenly if he has a criminal record, right? That's part of the reason we have business and industry is you guys oversee that stuff to make sure that consumers are protected, the citizens are safe, and that businesses are doing their part to be compliant with what they need to be.
Yeah, and to add to what you were saying, think about financial institutions mm-hmm. or mortgage lending.
Yeah,
we have two divisions basically looking into that. Again, protecting consumers and facilitating commerce through the state.
Exactly. Well, it also protects business owners because if you're legitimately in business, you don't want somebody else coming into business that's not licensed and is not operating at the same level that you're supposed to be, not only ethically, but just as far as how they're doing business.
Correct.
Which is good. So anyway.
Oh, and then also think about a tow truck. Everybody says, I can use a tow truck just pulling cars outside for somebody else. Not need to be regulated. That's another department they do. Taxi cabs, Lyft.
True story. Check this out. So I was in another city. This is probably 10 years ago. This is before Uber and Lyft and everything. I call for a cab to a cab company. A guy shows up in his personal Mustang. It's a two-door Mustang with his girlfriend in the back seat, and there's junk all over in the car. It's his personal car. And I said, I thought I was calling a cab company. And the guy's like, sorry, this is how we do it here. And I'm going, count our blessings. Las Vegas is great. There may be a lot of problems, but we got to get tourists around places and have them safe and doing that. I missed my flight to the airport because this guy was late and he was unprofessional. And I'm like, it's not even a taxi service. He was just driving his personal car. It was really bad.
Right.
And
look at the volume of all the activity just within the strip.
Exactly.
And moving people around through taxis.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a convenience. It's an easy way to move around. But it needs to be regulated, again, to provide that security blanket.
Absolutely.
Not only for the driver, but also for people
Yes.
using the service.
And keep in mind, we had a report that we had 4 million visitors last month. 4 million.
4 million. Yeah.
4 million in the city. Yes, in 1 month. Yes, to move around those individuals, conventions, tourists, hotels, recreation.
Absolutely. And it's great. And so business and industry facilitates making sure that the background work is done for all this.
Correct.
Which is wonderful. So let's talk about the roadmap.
Of course.
This is the roadmap, and Carlos is going to hold this up. So this is the roadmap, the Department of Business and Industry. I know I've worked with Marcel
English and
before. English and Spanish. So tell us about the roadmap. I know how it came to be. I want you to tell us how it came to be, though.
Well, again, whether you are in business or you are thinking about business, sometimes we need to access resources.
Yes.
I think there are key terminologies or words there. One is support. We need support, and we need access to resources. The roadmap was created with that in mind.
To help that out, yeah.
Because a lot of people say, well, just go to this organization or talk to Carlos or Mike. Nothing wrong with that. You are wonderful resources. But sometimes we can associate with resources according to the categories that you see in the roadmap.
Yeah.
Like funding or getting help. Getting help at no cost. Where do you go? So if you access the roadmap, which is this PDF interactive tool, you connect directly with those organizations and individuals that can basically help you at no cost.
Yeah.
And I don't think we do enough of that, Mike, as you know, Carlos.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the area of starting a business, for all the right reason, we know our trade, either the product or service that we want to offer.
Yeah.
But we don't have the structure around it to be successful. And there is, I think, where this roadmap comes into place according to what you need. And also to educate you in the process of perhaps some of the main components that you need.
Okay.
From a business license, to access to capital perhaps, where to go and do networking, where to hire 1 or 2 employees if you are at that point. So just a wonderful resources, over 400 links.
Yeah.
Within that roadmap.
Now the
Just to give an
roadmap,
idea.
like he said, it's an interactive PDF. What I like about it is you can download it on your phone. You download it from Business and Industry's website, and we'll have you give that in a minute. But you download it, and you can have it as a PDF on your phone. It's interactive and has links to everything. And so quite often, small business owners, we engage with one person. We'll meet Carlos, and we'll go, oh, Carlos knows it. Let me go with this. Or they meet with me, or they meet with Juan, or somebody else.
Their accountant, their bookkeeper,
Exactly.
you name it.
And so that's all good, but sometimes we don't give the whole picture. We'll kind of give a portion of it.
Yeah, exactly. And the most important thing first, Marcel, you are the creator of this roadmap, and now the state adopted. So there's a good thing. Secondly, so many people come to the chamber and asking for, I need a loan. Well, go to the regular lenders, any bank. I'm not candidate. I'm not have the resources.
I can't qualify for that.
I can qualify. So what? Go to the roadmap. There's several micro lending institutions, official institutions. They for free. Even if you cannot get the micro loan, they will assist you in order to have ready, get the micro loan, then be ready to get to be bankable.
Yeah.
That's the beauty that
Which
you
is
have
wonderful.
here.
Well, and thank you for mentioning that, Carlos. You know, if I had the vision of the roadmap, basically the visual genius was Chris in my office, part of our team. And because people kept thinking, and people talk this way, right? A roadmap. And sometimes we have wonderful images throughout the state. But this is a business roadmap of resources. We needed something else. And even though it's just, like you mentioned, Mike, a PDF file, it tries to resemble a smartphone.
Exactly.
In which you can interact more easily. And you have a different experience of connecting with the right resources right away. That doesn't mean that you will know and it's easy just to do things, but that's why you can access those resources. Get the technical assistance for free and be able to navigate some of the complexities of putting a business plan or internal structure within your business.
Yeah.
Because those are the challenges, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Far beyond just the trade or the service that I offer, and people have passion for those.
Yeah.
But you also have to have a passion to structure your business to succeed.
In the proper way.
And succeeding is making money. Let's face it, at the end of the day, you want to make a profit.
Or else you
And
don't stick
that's
around.
what it boils down to. Because you can have something in writing, you can do planning, as you know, Mike, planning. But I think the key question is, how are you going to make money?
Exactly. And well, in our, the Latin business owners, okay, are such good entrepreneurs,
Oh, my
right?
goodness.
So
Yes.
they come to our country, they come to the country here, and a lot of times they just go and do, and we'll see them. They hit the streets, they hustle, they do all this stuff. Then they come in and see us, and they say, I got a ticket.
Do I need a license for that?
Somebody threatened me, or I didn't realize I was supposed to be licensed. Like, how does this work? And then we kind of go retroactive and we help them kind of bring them forward. But usually they've gone out, they've hustled, and they're like, hey, I'm selling tamales out of the back trunk of my car, and I had somebody from the health department come and tell me you can't do that, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you can't do that. So so then we kind of help them get up and running with that. But I think it's been really fulfilling. We work a lot with the Hispanic community, and helping them get up to speed and getting licensed and doing all that, and just getting all that background stuff that you have to do for your business. All the compliance issues we hate doing.
Yeah, you have to do that.
You have to do it.
Because once you start making money, you don't want to go back and find yourself that you have to pay fines or you are in non-compliance.
Exactly. Or you miss a contract or something.
You want to be...
You cannot get a contract today.
You have to have the setup in order just to make money and not to worry about non-compliance issues at that point.
Exactly. And we hate seeing them struggle through, they've been in business 2 years, and it's like, I've seen people that don't have a license, and it's like, how are you don't have a license? We need to get you up to speed here.
They're confused because they got the Nevada State business license, and they believe that's the license, to operate, which is not. Need to have the city or county license in order to operate.
And or specialty licenses too.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
so
my
that's
goodness.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to your point, Mike, keep in mind that first generation Hispanics all over the world, we had every single nationality in Las Vegas, they don't know the resources. They don't know how to operate. They know how to make money. They're really smart, and the hustle and the work is there.
Yep.
Everything, entrepreneurship is there. But this roadmap in Spanish and English, they tell them you need to go here, without leaving their home.
Exactly.
Without leaving their
They can do the research as they need it,
That's the thing,
which is great. And then what's the address for this, Marcel? What are they
Very
doing?
simply, you just type in business.nv.gov and you are there. You go to an area call. Thank you for doing that. An area call, our business resource center, and then you're going to find the roadmap there.
And it looks just like that. You click on the link that looks like that, and it takes you right there.
And that's the visual, again, to make things easier for individuals. But within that, we call it the roadmap. But please associate it with support, associate it with resources.
Okay.
And associate it with the opportunity to create opportunities for your business.
Which
as
is what we're all
Carlos
looking
was
for.
saying, there is a lot of contracts. Some of the things that the Latin Chamber of Commerce is actively doing for people to have access to government contracts.
Yeah.
But they need to find out, they need to be certified as either minority, diverse, business disadvantaged enterprise, or level emergency, local business, level 1, level 2. Whichever is the certification, they need to be certified in order to get access to those contracts. And there are, it's a huge opportunities out there. But for our people, our audience, this is a wonderful tool, online, easy, accessible, where they can find all the resources. Then, if they need more deep knowledge or more deep help, they can come to Reno Extension with us, Latin Chamber of Commerce, and another wonderful partners we have in our community. A lot.
Very good.
And we work together. With collaboration between community partners it's really strong in Nevada.
It's very strong. Yeah.
And absolutely, Carlos, you were mentioning, and if you click on what it says here, certifications and contracts, then you access those resources. But again, there is, I think, self-evaluation also comes into play of who I am as an entrepreneur, and really just saying, do I need help?
Yeah.
And I will take myself as the first person who does that all the time.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. I know exactly what I want, but I need to hold hands with people, advisors who can provide the technical assistance that I need to basically put this in place correctly.
Exactly.
And be able to maximize maybe my marketing approach, if you want to call it that way. I think it is important also because very often entrepreneurs, we find ourselves, it's a lonely journey.
Absolutely.
In terms
painful.
In terms of cost-benefit analysis, in terms of taking risk, it is scary. But I think if we think about the roadmap is maybe a way that we can breach that gap and just say, I will find wonderful resources and individuals that can give me the technical expertise
that you need
to put it in place correctly and to be executable in order for me to make a profit. Not just to make money,
but
because
to be profitable.
Remember, we can make money, but we need to make a profit.
Yes, because that's what keeps us in business,
I will say my opinion. It's going to have a business. It's like having a new kid. You don't know if it's going to be a good kid or a bad kid. But one thing is for sure, demands money from you 24 hours, 7 days a week, 360 days a year.
Exactly.
And still on top of that, you need to pay your wife. So it's very difficult.
Carlos always has great insight on this.
Just an analogy.
I agree. That's a very interesting analogy, Carlos. Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, we've talked about Marcel too before. In Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, right, talks about different types of entrepreneurs, and most entrepreneurs get into business because they're highly technically skilled in one area, right? They're a florist. They do floral designs exceptionally well, right? They work as a chef, right?
Yeah, wonderful.
Great cook. They do or they make cakes and they do it just perfectly well. But guess what? The best chefs don't run the best restaurants, right? The best florists don't run the best flower shops, right? Obviously, we need managerial type people that do that. Or these people with technical skills need to bring in other people to teach them further skills on managing a business, right?
Correct.
Because somebody who knows how to manage people and processes and things like that can actually stick around a lot longer in business than a technician that's really got the fire in the belly and wants to do it and is really good. If you can't manage people and you can't manage stuff, you're not a good manager, and you might just go out of business because that profitability isn't there. Right. So
well, and again, there is where the resources will come into play.
Exactly.
Because we might say, well, I don't need a full-time CPA, but maybe I can access something that is reasonable, and you have a person once a month, according to what you do. You may need, you don't have the capability to build a human resources department, but there are associations,
Exactly.
such as the Nevada Association of Employers, in which you access their resources for something reasonable, and they give you the expertise to successfully run your personnel.
Exactly.
So, but again, to your point, I am a florist, but then I have to surround myself with this structure that will allow me to focus more on the trade.
Exactly.
Putting together flowers for different events, right? And then be able to succeed from there.
But if you're buying them wrong, you're buying them in wrong quantities.
Exactly.
If you're not managing your costs, you're not managing your overhead, you're not managing your structure,
your time.
or you're not doing sales because you're so focused on production, you're not out selling.
sales.
You know, that can kill your business literally overnight. And in my own business, I flew by the seat of my pants for 10 years. I went to business school after I was in business for 10 years. And I remember
which is typically the pathway of many individuals.
Yeah. I don't recommend it.
Right.
I'll say
but
that was my
when it happens, the resources will be there.
Yeah.
But you did it after a while.
I did. I remember sitting in business school and going, there's a formula for that? Like, really? What's this break-even analysis? I just had a gut feeling I had to sell X amount.
In order to pay the
yeah,
bill.
I knew if I sold X amount a month that I had money in the bank at the end of the month. And we were doing
that's
okay.
your break-even analysis. Oh, I had money.
But I had, I always harp on financial analysis because I didn't know. I mean, income statement. Most business owners understand an income statement. We get that. Balance sheet is a whole nother ballgame. They're like, I had a controller I paid money to that gave me balance sheets every month. I look at them and go, hey, it looks great. I don't know. What does it mean? I have no idea how they interact. And so we actually
and think about cash flow.
Oh, cash
in lines
flow.
what you are saying.
Yeah.
Technically, we can understand a lot of things, but in practice, what is it that you have to do
Exactly.
in order to have just a necessary or essential cash flow every month?
With the forecast.
And
Yes.
maybe a
When the
contingency
forecast-
of 3
exactly,
months.
because you need to be prepared for
If you
the ups
can.
and downs.
In reality, many small businesses and micro businesses is on a month to month.
I will tell you my forecast in small basis. Thank you. We made it this month.
That's how it works, Carlos.
There's
a lot of
faith.
There's a lot of prayer in small business. That happens all the time. Well, you have an event coming up, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, tell us about
And
your
when I
event.
said we do is because
Am I speaking again?
all of you are
Okay.
part of, maybe, all of you are part
Anytime.
of this,
Anytime.
what we call our business support ecosystem.
Okay.
So every year during the first week in May, we celebrate National Small Business Week.
Yep.
It's done through the SBA, the Small Business Administration. So this year, out of the Sahara West Library, we are going to offer what we call the Nevada Small Business Resource Fair. It's 1 day of activities, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., in which dreamers and doers come in to basically access resources according to the roadmap. These islands are created for you to go into getting help, getting funding, and basically have the opportunity to meet those resources face to face.
Exactly.
Ask questions.
You put face to the link.
Yeah, make an appointment, all of the above. So we're going to have this wonderful fair. It's going to happen also in Reno and Fernley during that week.
Okay.
But that's what we are going to be doing. So dreamers and doers, again, can come in.
I like that.
And just be able to feel comfortable and at no cost.
It was a great event last year.
Oh, it was.
a
And
great
we
event.
included food trucks. And we're thinking about having 3
Again,
new
yes.
food trucks.
I'm there with the
Again,
food truck, Carlos. All
I
right.
like it. Yeah, no, the food truck, but can you have a happy hour behind that? Something like that?
I was enjoying
On
the food
parking
truck
lot,
last
the
year.
happy hour is with root beer, non-alcoholic drinks.
Coca-Cola, Carlos.
Okay.
Coca-Cola. It's
That
business
works.
hours.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful opportunity to support also the food truck industry.
Absolutely.
In our own way.
Yeah.
But again, a wonderful way
Yeah.
for people to access resources, have the opportunity to network, ask questions, and maybe start on a different footing this journey, wonderful journey
More informed than they would have been.
that we called to own a business.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fantastic, but it's not for everyone, as you
No,
know,
it's not.
Mike,
It's
Carlos.
not.
But everyone, all of us have the possibility to put it into practice. Are we going to succeed? Some of us, yes. Some of us don't. But the
Yeah.
opportunity is there.
Well, we know business failure rates have stayed pretty consistent. It's usually about 90% of businesses fail in the first year. In the next 4 years, I think 90% of those fail too. So if you make it 1 year, you're doing really well. If you make it 5 years, though, you've beat all the odds,
Yes.
right? If we could take that 90% failure rate and get it down to 60%, we've done our job immensely. We want to keep people in business as long as possible.
But think about it also, Mike. Yes, you make it for years, but then the pandemic happens.
Wiped
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people
And
out.
even if you have been successfully in business for 25 years, a lot of them had to close their doors forever.
Yeah.
But there is where the new entrepreneurs will come in to connect the dots differently
It's true.
and take it again to the next level, looking at people, processes, technology, and
Technology,
create.
that's the key. Today is technology. So if you're in the food industry, your first stop is not customers coming to your business. It's how do you deliver your food to their customers.
Exactly.
How? And make profit out of it. And everything, mobile mechanics. Now it's very, very usual. I don't go to the shop. I don't want to change my tires. The mobile unit
They'll
can
come to you.
do it for me. My home, my office, no problem. Car wash.
Right.
Same thing.
So again, remember, Wednesday, May 3rd,
Wednesday, May 3rd. Okay.
from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Sahara West Library.
Sahara West. Okay.
Which is basically between Rampart and Hualapai.
Hualapai.
It's
Okay.
West Sahara,
Okay.
but it's the Sahara West Library. So we look forward to seeing all these dreamers and doers
will be
come
there.
in. And of course, you will be there because you are part of the entire ecosystem here,
Wonderful.
providing resources.
We'll teach a class if you need us to. Carlos and I are
Yeah,
pretty
you,
good.
you had a problem with the Latin Chamber of Commerce, Marcel, because the business segmento.
It's sort of just being an Italian and sort of pushing things with my hands. You know, I cannot keep my hands steady.
Well, let's give your website again, Marcel. Where do we find the roadmap?
Very, very
and this
simple.
information?
Just remember business.nv.gov, and you will find information about the Department of Business and Industry, information about what we call our Business Resource Center, and definitely the roadmap, which is going to help you
Yes.
in this wonderful journey of succeeding in business.
In both languages, English and Spanish.
But in
Spanish.
addition to that, we also have in Chinese,
Chinese.
Korean, and Tagalog at the present time.
Wow.
Yeah, we made a couple of videos. We made one in Tagalog and one in Korean.
Yes,
You got Chinese now too. That's pretty good.
exactly.
Okay.
Wow.
We gotta
Looking
we gotta
forward to
step
more
it up.
languages.
We got to
Yeah,
step
very
it up.
impressive. Yeah, that's good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
Well,
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Marcel,
much,
for joining
Mike.
us again today.
Carlos.
Thank you, Marcel.
You
Always.
guys are awesome.
As always.
So thank you. Well, this has been another episode of the BizLife Podcast. Go do something great in your business today. Thank you, you guys. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.